Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the Space City of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in off a loss last time out, but still in the midst of a great season, winners of 8 of their last 10. Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
Well, we've hit that bittersweet week of the NFL season, haven't we? The last week of the regular season, week 17. Come on, Brandon. Can he win the MVP? Can he do it here in this last game?
Well, he's got to make a strong impression here in the final week. It's an interesting race. My MVP ballot is at the top of my email right now, and I'm not voting until we've seen all the games here today.
I like that. I respect a man that waits until the season is over, doesn't turn it in early. I think if he has a big game here and gets a little bit of help, maybe the other guys don't play as well, he's got a great shot.
Now a first down throw. Watson. Open man is Uzama. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 6 there on first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. A huge play there for Houston. Give him 55 yards on the ground. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
Right back to him on first down. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back, and you're all fired up.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And the Falcons say they have it. They do. Some guys just have a knack for creating turnovers. He's got a little bit of that going. He forced a fumble last week, another one there.
And it just drives teams crazy because they realize that certain guys, as you said, have that knack, and they're trying to keep them away from the action, away from the ball. But the best ones have that overwhelming desire, that overwhelming need to get to the football and make it happen, and that he does.
Now a play fake here on first down. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 32 that time.
And let's face it, what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
He's got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep. And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. Of course, he's coming off that NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. 2 scores in that game a week ago.
And how did he get them? Speed is one thing, but how about the niftiness in his route running, able to cross people up in the set.
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games, and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted.
He's got a man complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Down, black 22.
Watson on first down. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Here's Watson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
Will Fuller is one of the young flyers in the NFL and gets to top speed in just a couple of steps, so everyone has to respect the deep game because he'll blow past people in a hurry. But what that does is leaves open space underneath. He can take the short pass, turn it into a bigger gain because he makes people miss. If he takes care of his hands and doesn't drop a pass or 2 in a game, he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside.
Hey, black 22.
And they'll run it here. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A lot depending on the spot there, and he got it. But it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the first down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal.
Green the line. Green the line. I got 15.
A shotgun snap for Watson. It is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. We're getting our first update now from Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. This is taken at his 4. A beautiful spin and room to run.
But that return gives him a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
They go play action here on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage. And
he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hopkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg. He goes full extension, and he's got it.
Reset. Black 22.
And they'll go on the ground. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Try the ground game here with the running back. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
And his kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This will be taken in at the 1. And another good here at the 30-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. So a minute 55 to go in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Leopard! Now let's go!
On play action, they'll throw. He's going to air one out. And he'll take it in on Atlanta. A big play there, hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 21-10 game. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Tiger!
On 1st and 10, Watson. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Oh, that was dangerous. Throw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on second down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way, because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans have cut it to within a score.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Now the extra point try forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-17. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This will be fielded at the 6. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Looking deep for Gabriel. It's caught at the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. And he'll bang that one through. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And now out comes Houston. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On first down, Watson. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Throwing on first down, Watson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson, and now it's second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
It's brought in by Doxson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Watson on first and 10. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again is Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
Nice pick, nice pick.
Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. It is the final weekend of the regular season, final day of the calendar year as well. A lot of action to update you on, so let's get right to it. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. And it's the Seahawks who have the lead as those two teams approach halftime. Russell Wilson, 2 touchdown passes thus far. From there, it's off to Chicago. Check on the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And it's the visiting Minnesota Vikings who have the lead in that one at halftime. The Vikings seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Chiefs. Robert Woods, a touchdown reception.
And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half.
Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentator, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he's got this down to the 35. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And this is Gabriel on the catch. Gets past him at the 10, and he gets and mark him at the 5. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it, because you're running away from people on it.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
The touchdown was scored by the runner, but the offensive line, they feel like it's theirs. They blocked that one up perfectly, allowed him easy access to the end zone.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Watson now throwing on first down. Ducks him with a grab over the middle. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And he comes back with one complete. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Got the completion, but it certainly wasn't on his time frame. Hurried on that play.
Absolutely. The pressure affected him. Unable to get it further downfield. And his kick is good. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Flushed out right. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Spinning away, and he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
The good old toss play, and this time they go to the left side, so give a lot of credit to the offensive line. Center, guard, tackle, able to seal that side. But the guy that we don't give enough credit to, wide receivers. They have to do a great job of blocking downfield, otherwise that play can be...
And now look at this, big gain, but a fumble. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Set! Green, 39!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Here we go now. 3-19! 3-19! No. Check, Patriots!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he'll take it in Atlanta. In for the score. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And the Falcons score to cap it off. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Now Watson on first down. Herndon's got it complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Now Watson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Back to throw, Watson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So out come the Falcons now. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit. Into the 4th quarter now, the offense has got to feel like they've imposed their will and kind of taken the life out of the defense, and you can see it from the perspective of the guy carrying the football. Those holes have to look huge, similar to a great hitter. Seeing a ball come into the plate and he's in the zone, the ball looks like a beach ball to him. He's just smacking it over the wall. Now what you're seeing is a runner whose eyes are wide open, and he's envisioning a goal line.
Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to look deep down the field. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charlie, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They're going to look to throw. And an alley to run. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the to carry the ball at this rate.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Atlanta, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for Houston, we'll have to see